Hello, welcome to another video. It's me again, and yes, I've been absent for a little while, but I've just taken a month off because family first, and I'm sure some of you guys who love your family do stuff like that now and again. Okay, family always important. All right. So we didn't do a video in October. Now we're in November, and the date is the 4th of November. So we're at a very interesting point in time right now. The 4th of November 2020 here in southern England, United Kingdom. Wow, where do we start? Sorry, I'm on a bit of a pain here. I just have to get through it, you know. Right. It's not all good news, although we try to be positive, alright? We try and be positive. We'll talk about that at the end, but we can't deny what's been going on, what's happening, and how it's looking for the near and not too distant future. So it's not going to be easy for some of you guys to absorb this information. Okay, this is just how I feel based on what I've been looking into. Okay, and my experience of life on this planet for nearly 50 years. All right. So let's just get into it. All right. Just my advice, just take the information, absorb it, mull on it for a day or two, and then do what you need to do, okay? So that's my advice, because it's quite deep, some of this, and it's quite disturbing. Sorry, but it is what it is. So let's get into it. I predict that by this time, or thereabouts next year, here in the UK, I'm not sure about everywhere else, but it could be a similar time, I don't know. But with the way these cycles and the governments use 3 months for emergency plans, etc., 3 months on, 3 months off, lockdowns, on, off, lockdown 2.0, lockdown 3, COVID-19, COVID-21, all these things. I am thinking that most, nearly all, UK independent shops here in the UK will be gone, out of business for good, by November next year. Sounds scary, doesn't it? It really does. But with all of these restrictions, you know, shops are being forced to close, and still have to pay their rent, etc. Now, obviously, you know, they've had meetings incommunicado with local governments and councils trying to get some sort of relief, some sort of deductions, that sort of thing. But you know, the way it's going, I can't see it. There's so many powerful corporations which are going to just wipe the slate clean. And of course, one word which I'm sure we all know is Amazon. The way I'm seeing things, you won't have a high street, a physical high street. You would have Amazon centres and distribution networks. There's already talk that I'm hearing that shopping malls, when they're finally gone and they're empty and no longer works there, Amazon are going to take over them places and use them. Whether you can go there physically and get stuff, I'm not really sure. But maybe they can just use those to distribute goods from. I don't know. But I can see, I mean, Bezos, you know, one of the publicly known wealthiest man on the planet, he's obviously got monopoly on shops and goods and items, okay? The economy, that's going to be gone. I think they're slowly phasing that out. So, as I say, this is not good news, but it is what it is. Okay, you just have to do what you can to try and get your head around it. Yeah, the economy, I think, is going to go. The US dollar, I think that's shaky. The way China's going and advancing their technologies and expertise, especially in the AI realm. I recently heard from the World Economic Forum, private company, believe it or not, that they predict by 2022, 54% of every person who earns a living and works full time here on planet Earth will have to retrain their jobs. How scary is that? So if you've been doing the same sort of job all of your life, in a couple of years' time, there's a high chance that you're going to have to stop doing that and do something else. Now, how it's looking is morphing into AI, robotics. China is way in front of the world in that. They're seriously just running ahead with the game. So you're looking at tracking technologies, tracing capabilities. There's Neuralink in the States, which some of you may or may not know. They actually wired devices to your brain so you can think and make things happen. So I predict also that lots of physical technology devices will be obsolete in a few years. I don't know, anything between up to 5 years. There's not going to be any need for devices because literally what you think and what you do is going to happen. It's really far out there, but the way this is looking, there's a word that a lot of people are failing to understand, and that word is exponential. When technology advances exponentially, it goes like this: oh, a new device, and all of a sudden, as time goes on, technology gets more and more faster and easier to produce and easier to manufacture. It just goes up and up and up and up. So when you get like a new amazing bit of kit come out every 10 years, every 5 years, every 2 years, every 1 year, every 6 months, every few months, it's going to be that fast and frightening. I mean, how many of you right now can take your smartphone apart, lay every single item all onto a table and tell me or tell anyone what all of those individual items do and collectively how that piece of kit works? Not many people would understand that. Yet here we are, we rely on it. Okay, and it's scary. So if you're relying so much on a smartphone and you don't know how it works, that's scary, isn't it? That's what I think. So yeah, some people are predicting that what's coming down the road, is like a slow explosion. It's very strange. You know, lots of us predicted shit, the fan will be like, boom, within a day or two, everything will change. But this is going slowly. It's almost like that book that Arthur C. Clarke wrote about the children. It's over time. It's scary. It's an interesting concept to get you think. So it's really crazy for the brain to process all of this change. Okay. My partner said to me when we first met, you know, the best way to be is to adapt to change, no matter what it is, as fast as you can. So whatever changes come out, just try your best to get used to it. Okay, don't sit there moaning, whinging, trying to fight against it. You're going to lose. Just adapt and work with it, and think of a way through it. Use your brain and your experience to calculate techniques and methods to navigate through all of these changes. And there's lots of changes coming, believe you me. So yeah, some people are saying it's going to be worse than the Great Depression. Too many things and people are reliant on the system. I mean, I saw a TV program a few years ago. When I watched telly, it's a long time ago now. And it was like how to live without money. And this guy, I think he was from the church, and he basically just survived in the UK. I can't remember how long, I think it might have been a year, without any money. And he lived without a single penny. And he would like travel from place to place. He would basically, like if you're going across ship from different countries, he worked his passage, but he worked to live. He basically just mowed someone's lawn and they cooked him a meal and this sort of thing. And he managed this for a whole year, not with a single penny. I mean, how many of us think that we could actually do that, you know, without turning to crime? Because he done it without doing that. Different story. Yeah, they reckon there's going to be more unemployed than there's ever been. There was a percentage, I think it was 30-something% in the Great Depression. Once that percentage of unemployment was reached, it was then officially classified as a depression, not a recession. It's double-dip recessions and all this stuff that they come out with now. But a Great Depression is you know, a very bad thing, because lots of people unfortunately relied on the system, but when the system failed, everything failed. Lots of people starved, there was cannibalism, there was crime, there was prostitution, you name it, it went on. Okay, and you know, I believe that, you know, I'm approaching my 50s. I'm in a generation where luckily I didn't have to go through no world wars or Great Depressions or global financial crashes, you know. So to an extent we're quite soft to the people that lived through all of those bad times, you know, and if you come through it, it's only going to make you stronger. based on how you survived and what you've done and how good you can use that. Okay, that's the most powerful thing you have up there. You can have £1 million worth of all the flashiest kit. If you can't think, you might as well be a blob of cabbage. Pointless. I've always said this and promoted this. Try and get physical items. Sounds simple, but it's true. If you're of a disposition that you're deeming yourself as a minimalist, i.e. you've got like you live in a small dwelling, there's not much in there, like a monk, you've got like a bed, you've got a cooker, toilet, that's about it. If you're rolling like that, I don't really rate your chances. If you've got quite a big property and it's ram-packed full of useful items, and useful items are, use your imagination. I mean, just think, put yourself into the future. All this goes bad, right? People are losing their jobs, they're desperate, they're going to be trying to get into your house for food, all the rest of it. So useful items to either help you through this crisis that's coming, items that you can barter, because if there's no money or very little money that's offered by the government, some universal credit which everyone gets, a base amount of money, it's terrible. It's like Hunger Games, you don't want to go down there. And there's people fighting against that right now, all over the world. And it's true, it's happening. People have had enough of it. And it's standing up, fair play to them, in my opinion. But useful items that you can barter for. Now, the way I think is, a lot of people are addicted to things. We all are, most of us, okay? Addicted to smoking, whether it's cigarettes, cigars, pipes, marijuana, crack, whatever it is, you've got addictions, okay? If you said, no, I'm not addicted, I'd say, alright then, you smoke every day. You say, okay, stop, right now. I don't care how many you've got upstairs or in your bedroom or whatever. Throw them all away, never smoke again. Not many people can do that. Same with drink. We all like a drink now and again, okay? Depending on who you are and what you've been up to, depends on how much you drink and how much you need. All of a sudden, you haven't got any drink. How do you think you're going to feel? You're going to feel pretty desperate, okay? And that goes along with all sorts of things, right? So make a little stock of things that people are addicted to. Now, you don't have to use these yourself. You don't have to smoke, you don't have to drink, but I'm advising you to get a selection of tobacco. Tobacco is pretty good. You get cigarettes, they're sealed in a pack, providing they're not in any damp areas or in brilliant sunlight. Like the food, cool, dark place. Store some, keep them away. Because if someone comes and they approach you at something and they've got something that you need and you've got no money, but you've got stuff, I haven't had a cigarette in months, I'm dying for a cigarette. Oh, right, okay. What would you give me for 20 cigarettes? Brand new, sealed, never been used. Oh, yeah, and then you can work out, you can barter up. So store some rolling tobacco. I'm not sure how that's going to store. You might be advised to vacuum seal that, get the air out of it, vacuum seal it, original packaging, put some oxy absorbers in there. That will keep fresher for longer, I'm guessing. Just think off the top of my head now. So yeah, tobacco, store some of that. Alcohol. Try and think, or maybe do some research of what the most popular or what the most common alcohol is in your country. A lot of people like Scotch, single malts. Gin is very popular with the ladies. Vodka for you lunatics. So get a little selection, but you don't necessarily have to get the top end expensive stuff. Get the cheapest that you can get, okay? Because if you've got like Scotch 40%, it's going to get you where you want to go to. Whether you've got like a £60 bottle of single malt 40%, okay? When we're talking hard times, they're going to do the same thing, all right? You can get expensive stuff if you feel you need to. Great, why not? But yeah, get some cheapest stuff like that you can barter, okay? Swap it for items that you're going to need. So addictions, anything like coffee. Now, storing coffee long term, do some research on that. There's lots of conflicting information, but from what I've looked at very briefly is instant coffee, freeze dried, like the Mountain House stuff, will store for years, 20 odd years. Okay, so try and get good, I would say high caffeine content, freeze dried coffee. Get lots of it. Okay, store it away somewhere, and if you're a bit worried about it, vacuum seal it again, oxygen absorbers. Okay, get all the air out of it. That will store for a long time. Okay, you can swap someone. Trust me, someone who's addicted to coffee or caffeine, who hasn't had a cup of coffee in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, it's going to be absolutely up shit creek about paddle. And if you can say, there you go, mate, there's some like strong caffeine coffee, they'll probably give you anything you want. Okay, so think along the lines of addictions. Okay, useful items, knives, anything that's going to be handy in a crisis. Chargeable things like batteries. Batteries are going to be important, I think. Torches, flashlights, knives, matches, candles, things that are going to be useful. Gas bottles. Just use your imagination. I could sit here for an hour just rattling off loads of things, but I'm sure you've got a brain and you can think what would be good to trade with people. What would be important? Okay. Oh, we look at that film, The Book of Eli. I'm sure you remember that scene where he walks into the shop where his little iPad is like run out, and the guy charges it up and he swaps it for some shampoo or something, or some it was a KFC wipe. That's it. So you know what I mean. Think along them lines, because you know when things go bad like that, trust me, a £20 note is long gone. It's pointless. And in fact, you got any money in the bank, I would seriously invest it on the stock market, which I've advised never to do, but only on one thing, and that's in silver. Okay, invest it in silver. Look into who manufactures it, who purifies it, who works along them lines of making it. Just look at their history of how they've been trading over the last 5 years, no longer, and then you'll see who to invest your money into, because silver is going to be absolutely going up big time. It's going to be more usable. It's got more multi-use, more multifacetable uses than gold. Okay, and in fact, silver they're using solar panels, like we just saw earlier in the video I've done about those torches. Okay, so invest it into silver and spread your bets, as it were. Get some silver coins. Now, you're looking at Brexit officially ending the 31st of December 2020 this year. You can go to a website, Silver to Go. Go to Silver to Go and get silver coins. Get the smallest, cheapest ones that you can afford and just get them. Because after the 31st of December, we're going to be out of the European market. So I think this Silver to Go is overseas in Europe, but you're getting it VAT free at the moment. When this changes and it goes into next year, my advice from a friend of mine who knows his stuff, Dave. Hi Dave. Dave, I hope you're watching, mate, and I've got this from you, so I hope you don't mind me sharing this information. It's low key, but bullion by post. If you get bullion by post as from January 1st next year, that would probably be your best bet, is trying to get it as cheap as possible with VAT. From my research, get silver coins, don't get bullion. I'm not sure if it's the same, but when I looked into gold years ago, if you get coins, you do not have to pay capital gains tax, so you get more bang for your buck. Okay, so hedge your bets. Okay, have some money in the bank, have some cash, have some silver coins, have lots of barterable, useful items, somewhat dear to addictive properties. That's how I'm rolling. Okay, so you're really covering as many bases as you can, because there's so much uncertainty coming down the road and out there. If you put all your eggs in one basket and that basket gets dropped, you and your family are screwed. Right, so really think, you know, we've got plenty of time before this comes down the road, a year, 12 months at the very, very, the most. You won't get more time than that, I don't think. So start thinking and planning and doing things. It's no good just sitting there thinking. Actually do something, okay? So, yeah, sorry this is waffling on. I'm digressing a little bit there. But get physical items that will help. Not big bank balance. Yeah, we've touched that. Supply chain issues. Now, with the first lockdown in the UK, we did have some supply chain issues for multiple reasons. You know, people are too ill to get to work. Some people are self-isolating. Some people are quarantined. They couldn't produce whatever they needed to do to meet demand. And of course, you get the panic. We're talking like food from supermarkets. The panic, which is ramped up by those nasty, evil people from the mainstream media. Whether it's like newspapers you get at the petrol station, or whether it's the television in your front room or your bedroom or your kitchen. they're telling you lots of crap that's run by script. My advice, like I said before, turn your telly off. No telly, not just the news, the whole thing. Turn it off. If it's something important, you've got friends, a good connection of friends around you, they're going to let you know when important things come to light. Forget the news, it's just fry your brain. Okay? So they're going to push panic buying. You wait, you watch. I think this lockdown is coming tomorrow. So the 5th. Guy Fawkes night. So that's from the establishment sending a warning shot out to everyone saying like, yeah, Guy Fawkes tried to do this and no, he didn't get very far, and look what we're going to do right on that anniversary. So it's very naughty. But you know, there's a lot of smart people out there, and you can see what's coming, and you can plan and prepare ahead of what's coming. Okay, so supply chain issues. So if you're again, Dave, I'm getting this idea from you, mate. Thanks again for the videos that you make. You're awesome. I'm going to stick a link in Dave's channel below. Okay, but I'll touch base with you first, Dave, if you want me to do that. So if the link's not there, it's for a good reason. Okay, but more, mate, Dave. Repeat medication. So if you're on any repeat prescription medication for whatever it is, you have to consider supply being infrequent, limited, or God forbid stopped. Okay, so if you're heavily reliant on some form of medication, I don't know what it is because everyone's different. They've all got different concoctions of stuff that they take on a regular basis or whatever it is. Do what you can to come off of them. Now, I know some of you right now are thinking, not a chance, if I stop taking these I'm going to die. Fine, okay, but just try and think what you can do to replace it with something else which you can get readily available, which will do something similar to what you're getting from all of these hideous concoction of chemicals that you're consuming. Try to wean yourself off of them, okay? A lot of it's going to require strength up there, okay? Try and take it every other day at first. Try and wean yourself, and if it gets to a point where it's really bad, consult your doctor and say, look, is there anything else I can take other than this, because you know I'm concerned about supply chain or side effects. Can we try something else? Blah blah blah. Just try and think about getting yourself off medication. All right. Getting off anything addictive as well. So yes, like I said earlier, if you smoke, stop smoking. Okay, I did. I've done it a few times now, so I'm not going to preach. Okay, but a lot of it's up there. A lot of this is up there. Okay, the reason this time, I think I've stopped 2 or 3 times, and the longest has been 5 years. This has been 1.5 years. But the reason this time was financial. I just couldn't really afford to spend 20, 30, 40 pound a week on smoking. Just can't do it. So that money is coming very handy. I've increased my preps, etc. So yeah, if you're an alcoholic, do what you can to stop drinking or limit what you drink. Drugs, try and get off of drugs. Medications, tobacco, coffee, try and limit the coffee that you have. Like I said, if you're addicted to something, and at some point down the line, wherever that is, it's no longer available, you have to try and put your head in that mindset then, but now, and think, how are you going to deal with that? With all of the other stuff that's going on. Can you imagine it? You know, things are really bad. The last thing you want is, oh my God, you know, all this going on, now I can't even have a cup of coffee. God, everything's so much harder. Yeah, you'll probably get over it eventually, but it's going to compact your bad downtime at that moment in time. You're going to limit it if you stop it or try and tailor it from now on. Okay, try and get off anything addictive. Practice surviving on little sleep and food. So that's good, because you know what's coming down the road, food is going to be a major issue. Lots of people are going to the supermarkets now and they're going to say, no, there's still loads of food, it's going to be fine. No, there's lots of evidence going on globally that there's so many crop shortages and failures around the world this year. So what we tend to do is we tend to grow food, store it, process it and ship it out, and over the next 12 months it gets distributed. So bear in mind that I don't know, half of the world's food supply hasn't been able to be grown successfully this year, what do you think that's going to do next year? What food is going to be available is going to be very expensive. Okay, so if you've just been laid off or furloughed or whatever it is, and you've got not much money, and you still need to provide food, you got to consider it's going to be expensive then. So get all your food now if you haven't done so already, but try and limit the amount that you use. I done intermittent fasting over the summer whilst I was furloughed off of work, and it's great. I love challenges and testing myself, and as I said, I keep saying it's all up there. It's a mental war which you willingly walk into and you conquer it. So you have, well, what I done is I had an evening meal, probably about 800, 900 calories or so, say 6 o'clock. Then I had smoothies and stuff like that. What I've done is I ate everything I could that I felt I needed to within that hour. And it's also important to listen to your body. When you feel full up, stop. Don't go, oh my God, look, there's still another chicken breast on the plate, eat it. Stop. You can put that in the fridge, that'll be right for tomorrow. You're saving money, okay? But try and condition your body to surviving on less, okay? Water, you don't really want to push it too far, but you know, here in the UK, you get water every day of the year. You know, you can store it through the summer, etc. But food is going to be expensive. Try and limit it. Try and get by on not much food. Try it for a week and then go on to 2 weeks and see how you actually get on. Realise how you behave and what your shortcomings are, and try to do something to combat that. Intermittent fasting really worked for me, and I tried not eating anything, just drinking water, nothing else, throughout the day. Come 6 o'clock in the evening, then you have your feed, your breakfast or your break fast. You're fasting, you're breaking that fast, so i.e. your breakfast, breakfast, is going to be at 6 o'clock in the evening. So after work or whatever it is, boom. You can refuel your body, and when your body is not consuming any food, it's healing itself, it's fixing itself, it's repairing itself. You got hunger pains, but what it's actually doing is it's fixing all of the problems and issues that's going on inside you, okay? Avoid sugar and insulin spikes while you're fasting. It's going to reset everything, and you're not going to get the full-term effects. I've done this for about 6 weeks. Absolutely incredible. It really, man, I lost some weight. I did struggle with energy levels, but again, it's something you need to factor in. I'm guessing if you had a good amount of sleep with fasting, it'll be a lot easier. But with my son and all sorts of things sometimes going through your head, you worry about blah blah blah. You know, sometimes you can have a bad night's sleep. So not much sleep, not much food, not eating regularly. It's a good thing to try and do, to find out for yourself how you can hack it. Alright, you won't know until you try it. So I'm using my time trying these things out. Pretty soon I'm going to give 24 hours at home without any electricity, the whole family, nothing. So we're going to see, and we're going to camp in the garden. We're going to see what it's like, you know, grid down, what it's going to be like. And the good thing about doing things like this is that you're going to learn things, and you're going to make notes, and you're going to add or take away from your preps, okay? It's a good thing to do, especially if you've got time on your hands. Alright? Try these things. Oh, that hurts. What else is get fit and boost your immune system. Yeah, get fit. Awesome. Personally, I can run, not very far, but I prefer to walk, carrying weight, and I'll just keep going and going and going and keep pushing yourself. Use inclines if you can, because that will get your CV, your cardiovascular system working. If you can really pump your heart and get blood thumping around your body really fast, a minimum half an hour every day. So if you walk up and down the stairs and then your heart starts to beat and you kind of keep doing it for half an hour, it's like you're having an old diesel Land Rover in the winter sometime in the woods and it's just left off. All you're doing is you're starting an engine for half an hour, taking it over, making sure all the lubricants and fuel goes around and make sure it's all working nice. It's just the same thing for your heart. Give your heart a good half an hour smash, alright? Get it done. Everyone can find half an hour out of 24 hours. I don't care what you do. Just put it as a priority, because if you've got a dodgy heart, you know, it's not good, alright? Without a heart, you're screwed, especially as you get older. Yeah, intermittent fasting, heart rate. Yeah, we've touched that. Using less energy, using less lighting, heating, etc. That's another good thing. I tried this last year because it's quite expensive to central heat our home. We're on a gas card, which is very expensive, and I've done what I can to try and get the cheapest tariff, but it's still expensive. Try to find ways to stop heat leaking out of your home. Our fireplace in the front room, when it gets windy down the chimney, we've got gas fire, but it doesn't work, but there's a little gap at the top, and all the cool air was coming down there, and all of the heat was going up it, getting pulled off by the wind up the chimney. Okay, so newspaper rolled up, stuffed all that, filled that up, and blocked it. So you're stopping heat escaping from your home. Okay, now we'll come on to this in a minute if I remember. So try to make your home energy efficient. Okay, use less power. So when you're at home in the evening, only put the light on in the room that you're in. If you've got other lights around the house, turn them off. Okay, over time, it will save money. Okay, heating. A tip that I do: the only radiators that I've got is in my front room, the bedroom, my son's bedroom, and the bathroom and the downstairs hall. The kitchen, the back room, off. Okay, don't have one at all. What I do is I try to get the temperature down as low as I can, so we do get some benefit from it. We're not freezing, so we're quite comfortable. And the rule of thumb is you turn the heating on. The rooms that you're not in, turn them off. So if you're spending all your time as a family in the front room, turn the other radiators off with the thermostat. Probably half an hour to an hour before someone goes to bed, turn them back on. You'll be surprised how much money you save by doing that. If you just have, like in my situation, like the 4 rooms I think it is on for like I don't know, 3 or 4 hours in the evening, 2 hours in the morning. If you have it on every day, 6 months throughout the winter, it's going to cost more than limiting it, like I said. Okay, so things like that to save money, because money's going to be precious and important. Trying to live, try and naturally transition into harder times without living like a king and everything's great, and then the next day, literally, boom, everything changes. Man, the stress on your mind at that point, with all of the crap on the news and stuff at that point in time, is going to be so much. You're going to see suicide rates go big time, especially around Christmas. Always happens. Always happens. So keep an eye on that. All right. Let me see. Sell stuff that you don't need to get money. Now I've started doing this already. There's a few items. I think I made about £400 in the end, which I didn't really need. Just held on to them, and I'm thinking, do I really need this? Do I use this enough? Do I like it? When I wear it, is it comfortable? Yes, no. So you make your decisions. You clean it all up. Make some nice pictures on eBay. Sell them. All of a sudden, 400 quid. Oh my God, 400 quid. Gas bowls. Bottle of water. All these things you can add. So think about it. All of that stuff that you've got in your back room, give yourself a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon or whatever it is, just go through it all, okay? I would get a couple of bin bags, go in there, just throw in there what you don't need, what you could sell, throw it in there, take it out, tip it all on the bed, lay it out, and then just try and think how much you're willing to sell it for. Add it all up and you go, wow. And then sell it. Yeah, you might not sell it all, but if you sell half or more, you're doing something right. And also you're freeing up space in your spare room, and you can put usable items which you really going to need, like I said before, in there to replace the stuff that you don't use, you don't want, you don't like, don't need. Boom, gone. Put stuff in there which are useful. Okay. Stuff in your shed. Tools. Try and go down the road of getting hand tools rather than electric powered tools. Okay. Because unless you've got like a very expensive, latest, highly maintained solar system in your home to provide all the power you need, which most of us haven't got, you're going to be screwed. Right, let's put that down over there. So yeah, think about these things, right? Sell stuff that you don't really need. Start to spend time with people, or watching videos, or going out on your own, or with people who know what they're doing. Trapping, hunting, foraging. Okay. So the idea being is, there's a lockdown, shit's hit the fan, we're running out of food, things aren't looking good. Mate, if you can learn how to trap pigeons in your garden, if you can learn how to get an air rifle and take out squirrels in the woods, or whatever it is, if you know what mushrooms are good and which mushrooms are bad, if you know all of these different wild edibles and all the medicinal purposes and nutritional value of some of these edible greens, it can be very beneficial when you've got not much left. Or you can add to what you got to break the monotony to make it taste good. You can get some real mint and put it with potatoes, better than just potatoes. Little things like this, okay? So try and learn these skills. Off-grid, heat, light and power. Like I said before, I've got a couple of these. I've got Go Nomad 7, Goal 0, and I've also got this one, solar panel. Solar panels are great, okay? But make sure that your kit and equipment that you're using, the leads are good, okay? There's no point having an old manky old lead and you go to plug it in and it moves and it just stops charging and you're not knowing about it. And then like 4 hours later you come back from hunting and it hasn't charged up your torch for the evening or something. Make sure that your leads are good, okay? If they're looking a bit ropey, get rid of them. Leads are relatively inexpensive on eBay, okay? That's pretty much all I want to say at this point. I'm not going to go into the elections and political stuff. I'm not really even going to touch on religious stuff because it's just a mountain pot for pointless arguments. Life's far more important to worry about all of that nonsense. All right. So think what I said. Yes, it's not really good news, but on a lighter note, on a note to end with is. Always be positive, okay? So, doesn't matter how bad things are, alright? Whether you're on your own or whether you're with friends or your family and things are crumbling around you and it's getting really bad, don't show a weakness. Make some sort of joke. Make something humorous or funny. Get the morale raised. It's an old squaddy thing, an old soldier thing. In your line in a ditch doing ambush or anti-ambush drills, and it's raining, and it's cold, and it's muddy, and your buddy next to you, on the gun, and I'm on the gun, and we're whispering. It's really quiet. It's raining, and you're just making each other laugh, trying to keep your spirits up. Okay, so do what you can to make your little girl or your little boy laugh, crack some jokes, pull a funny face. Just try and keep your spirits up, okay? So when things are bad or looking bad, there's always a way. That's my motto, and in fact, one day I'm going to get a tattoo on my arm somewhere that said, "There's always a way." And I've been saying that for a few years now. All my friends and family know that I say this. They'll say, "Oh my God, you're not going to believe what happened. This happened. Oh God, it's all bloody doom and gloom." I say, "Look, there's always a way. There's always a way around things. Even if you're lining up on a firing squad and you're about to get shot and killed, you've still got a choice. You have. You can pull a scared face, you can pull a happy face, you can pull a stupid face. That choice is yours, and it's up to you what you do. There's always a way, okay? So never forget that. So I'm going to end on that point. There's always a way. No matter how bad things are, there's always someone worse off than you, okay? We all do it. Okay, now I come home from work, it's been a bad day, I'm hungry, there's been a whack on the motorway, the traffic's bad, I'll get home late, I've got to get in, there's problems at home, I've got to cook dinner, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. And you think, we could all make excuses, but when you say to yourself, blimey, I could be in a wheelchair, blimey, I could have no legs, blimey, I could be blind. All these things, there's always someone worse off than you, no matter how bad you think your situation is. Okay, there's always someone worse off. So a good thing to do is to be grateful for what you've got. Okay, when you look around the world, we live in a first world country in the UK and US. How long for? I can't say. But third world countries, mud huts, dirty water, no electricity, no fresh food, no multiple items of clothing at their disposal and latest hand tools, etc. There's lots of people in the world who haven't got that. So be grateful for what you've got. Be grateful that you've got a roof over your head. Be grateful that you've got a loving family, or you've got a good collection of online friends around you who's got your back. Okay, be grateful for everything that you've got. Be grateful that you're still breathing the air around you, because lots of people aren't here anymore. Okay, so be grateful to be alive. If that's one thing. Okay, so that's my advice to anyone that's struggling out there with all of this stuff that's going on, or could be coming down the road, or whatever it is. Be grateful. Once you learn to be grateful and give stuff, you get more good feelings, and you get more joy than giving stuff than receiving stuff. You can grab and hoard everything and all that, and everyone's going to think you're a selfish, horrible bugger. You start like, wow, what do I need with 10 respirators? Yeah, mate, you haven't got one, you can have one. They're going to be so grateful for that. And then sometimes you might be lucky, if karma has its way, you might get something back from that person years down the line. Oh, I remember when I was around your house that you didn't have a decent hammer. There you go, you gave me that respirator years ago. Oh, brilliant. You know what comes around goes around, karma. Be nice to people, and when you're driving along, and you see like a queue of traffic and one person's waiting to come across, just stop, give them a flash, let them go. They'll be well grateful, and all the people queuing up behind him, he's been waiting. Just be that nice person, because if you don't, sometimes no one will. Sometimes you've got to lead by example. Right? Be the better guy. All right. So I hope you liked the video. I'm sorry I've been away, but as I say, I feel I needed to decompress for a month. No Instagram, not much internet, okay? And it's good. I advise it. It's a good thing to do. Just completely unplug and concentrate on family and your preps, all right? And all the other things that we've talked about. So I'm definitely going now. I'm not going to waffle. Thanks for watching, and stay funky.